Hi guys, and welcome back to another edition of Raise Your Frequency. It has been a long time since I've done one of these videos, and I put out a poll on Instagram asking you guys if you wanted me to continue with this series or we could just leave it on the back burner for now. And I got an overwhelming response of people who wanted me to continue with it and wanted some new videos. And one of the suggestions for a tapping video was to become more outgoing. So that's what we're going to tap on today. So before we begin the tapping session, I put together some notes here of tips and strategies that can help you become a better communicator, and just some strategies on how to become a more outgoing person. First, I want you to understand that if you are challenged by being more outgoing, and you might find it hard to strike up conversations with people if you're at an event or a party or something, I don't want you to think that there's anything wrong with you, because there's not. A lot of people that you see who are extremely outgoing and they seem to be so personable and everyone likes them, and it looks like it's so easy and effortless for them to have conversations with anyone, and they just float through the room like a little butterfly, talking to this person and that person. And you might look at that person and think, gosh, I wish I could be like that. Or how does that person do it? Do they just have more confidence, self-confidence than me? Am I just not very likable? Do people just not like me? I want you to understand that being outgoing is a skill. Just like being a really great communicator. Have you ever seen someone on TV and when you listen to them talk, you're just like, oh, wow, I just love listening to this person. The words that they use, the cadence in their speech, their eye contact, their mannerisms, they are such an effective communicator. Well, being outgoing is no different. It is a skill that is learned over time, and it's something that is practiced. So I put together some little strategies that I think are going to be really helpful for you. Okay, so there's 5 tips that we're going to go over today to becoming more outgoing / a better communicator. The first one is make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons. And what I mean by that is, I understand that your goal may be to become more outgoing because you want people to like you, or to become a better communicator because you want people to like you. I get that. But I want you to shift your perspective on this, and I want you to come from a place of contribution, a place of serving. In other words, when you go out into this world to talk to people, or if you're at an event and you want to meet new people, thinking to yourself, what's in this for me? I want you to shift your perspective and think to yourself, how can I in some way make someone else's day better? How can I learn about these people? I want to learn about these people so I can contribute to them in some way. Even if it's just in the form of a compliment. I want to learn what they do for a living. I want to know if they have children or not. So I can, connect. If you're a parent, I can connect with them on being a parent. I want to find out what kind of business they do. Maybe I might know some people who need their services that their business offers. So it's really a mindset that I want you to try to adopt when you are trying to become more outgoing. I want you to come from a place of serving other people and in some way making their life, their world, their experience, or their business, better in some way. Because when you do that, you don't have that vibration of what's in this for me, and I'm only doing this so I can get what it is that I want. No. If you are approaching it like that, then you're going to have that vibration about you, and people are going to feel that. They're going to sense it. So when you you want to do it for the right reasons. That's tip number 1. When you go to any event, or even if it's just at the grocery store, if it's somebody that you might be attracted to, that you want to go up and approach and talk to, think of it in terms of the mindset. Get out of the headspace of what is in this for me, and get into the heart space of how can I provide, how can I serve, how can I contribute in some way. Okay, here's step number 2, and now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of how to be a better communicator, because in order to become more outgoing, you have to do what? You have to communicate. When you say you want to become more outgoing, what you're really kind of saying is, how can I become a better communicator? When you have confidence in your ability to communicate with other human beings, then you have this sort of easiness about you, and it's just easier to put yourself out there because you know that you can dance the rhythm of a conversation. So let's get into the strategies of how to be a better communicator. So step number 2 is start up a conversation. I want you to remember this golden rule. What is a person's favorite topic to talk about? Can anybody guess? They love to talk about themselves more than anything else. So when you want to go up and approach a person and strike up a conversation, one of the best ways to do it is to come from a place of being genuine. If it's someone that you see is wearing something, really cute or flashy or whatever, people wear things for themselves, of course, but also because they want to be complimented on it, right? If you see somebody wearing something, you can say, "Oh my gosh, I love your shoes. Where did you get those?" Start the conversation centered around the shoes. And then what I like to do, and it's just sort of become natural to me, having been in sales my whole life, but I used to be, I still am a licensed real estate agent. And so I've been in real estate my whole life. I was a real estate salesperson, and then I became an investor, and now I'm a broker here in Florida. Even though I don't practice real estate today, I still have my licenses. And those skills that I learned working with people every day, and all different types of people. We're talking wealthy people just buying their first home, all different ethnicities and backgrounds. It was the best to be able to learn about people and just understand human nature. One of my little favorite tips, when you start up a conversation with someone and you're like, "Oh, I love your shoes. Oh my gosh, where did you get those?" And then they start telling you about their shoes. Wait a couple of, seconds or whatever, or wait for there to be a break in the conversation, and then interject. "Hi, I'm sorry, my name is Diamond, and I couldn't help but to come over and say hello." And that breaks the ice. And then they're like, "Oh, well, my name is Linda, and thank you. I appreciate the compliment," or whatever. That's kind of a way to interject and introduce yourself. You've already created the momentum of the conversation. Another thing to do is to ask questions about them, something that they might be reading. "Oh, what are you reading?" Or they mention something in a conversation. "Oh yeah, I'm just grabbing some hot dog buns before I drop my kids off at school." "What school do your kids go to?" Or "How many kids do you have?" Because conversations are basically a ball that's going back and forth. So when they're talking about something that's in their world, that can be like a ball that they're passing back to you, and then you can, ask a question about that. That's kind of like a little tip to get to know more about that person. You're definitely coming from a place of being genuine and also natural curiosity. And that's how conversations work, right? Like, we are human beings. We want to learn about each other. And so don't ever feel, and we're going to go through this in the tapping session to help you with this, but I don't want you to ever feel that it's awkward to ask someone a question. People want you to ask questions about their life, about what they're wearing, whatever topic that they're bringing up in that moment. They actually like when you engage and you ask them more about it. Okay, so we are still under step number 2, which is to start up a conversation. Now, let's say it's not the grocery store. Let's say you're at a party or you're at an event, and it is a room full of people and it's crowded, and there you are, and you're like, "Oh crap, I don't know anyone here, and I don't know how to," like, everyone's all off in their little cliques. You ever go to a party or an event and there's just like 3 people talking over here, 4 people talking over there, and it's like everyone is clicked off, and there you are, and you're like, I don't know how to go up and like break pierce the veil of their little circle. Here's something that I do. So always smile, because when you smile, you're so inviting. Your whole energy changes, and people look at you, and it's so hard to not be engaging with someone who's smiling and looking at you and making eye contact with you. So make eye contact and smile. You would be amazed at how that is just such an instant icebreaker. If there's a little click, what I like to do is I'll go up and I'll stand in the little group that they're in, and I'm just like genuinely listening to what they're talking about. If I sense that it's a private conversation, then I'll just kind of like excuse myself and go to another little click and start, listening there. And so what happens is, usually if it's at a public function or something, it's not going to be a private conversation. It's going to be like, oh, Bob, so yeah, how about those sales you made last week and blah, blah, blah. And so you can just listen and you will see who they're talking to, what they're talking about, and you in that moment can you can just be a good listener and say nothing. And eventually somebody might say, if you're really, really shy, you can just start off small and then just stand there and just kind of nod and look really engaged, because you're genuinely listening to what everyone is saying. And then somebody in the group will typically say, oh, hi, who are you? And then you can just, oh, my name is Diamond, and I just, overheard you guys talking, and I just wanted to come up and say hello. And I always like to stick out my hand to say hello to people, because it's just such a polite thing to do. And I understand the whole COVID thing and nobody wanted to shake hands, but we're past that, and we're human beings and we love connections. If you're in a group setting like that, if there's a moment of a pause, you can just say, oh, I'll do this. I'll be like, oh, guys, sorry, I just wanted to come up and say hello. I didn't want to interrupt your conversation, but I just wanted to come up and say hello. And I'll look at each person quickly. If there's 3 people, I'll look at each person quickly in their eyes while I'm smiling. I just want to come up and say hello. You see how that works? I just want to come up and say hello. So it's quick eye contact with each person. And then you can go back to the first person you looked at and stick out your hand and be like, hi, I'm Diamond, nice to meet you. Hi, I'm Diamond, nice to meet you. Hi, I'm Diamond, nice to meet you. And then I'll say something like, oh, don't let me interrupt, go on. And then they'll either keep talking or they'll say, oh no, well, tell us about you. Where did you come from, or who do you work for? That's kind of a bit advanced, but I think you guys get the gist of what I'm saying. Take whatever part of that you feel comfortable with executing within your comfort level. But those are some little tips that really do make a difference. We smile, we make eye contact, pretend like it is a game of curiosity. What is this about? And when you come from a place of genuinely wanting to contribute to people and wanting to offer whatever you can, whether it's compliments or it's advice or it's guidance or it's networking. Oh, you know what, so-and-so over here did this type of work. I should put you in touch with them. You're just wanting to contribute. There's a certain vibe about you that people are just like, you know what, they want to listen. They want to hear what you have to say. Oh, another thing, let's say it's not a business event and it's not like a one-on-one at the grocery store, but it's kind of in between. It's like at a wedding and, you walk up to the table where they're serving food or something, and it's just like maybe 1 or 2 people there. And you're like, oh crap, I want to talk to people, but I don't really know how to strike up a conversation here. One of the things that is always helpful is self-deprecating humor. You might say, hey, just wanted to say hello. I'm a little bit shy and I'm not really good at meeting new people, but I'm trying to put myself out there. So hi, hi, just wanted to say hi. I don't know. It's like people, I'm telling you, that is the cutest thing. When someone just quickly admits like, hey, I'm trying to get better at this. I'm not really good at this. I feel awkward, whatever you might want to say. It instantly warms people up, because everyone knows what it feels like to be that kid who walked into school on that first day and didn't know anyone and felt awkward and didn't have any friends, or some situation like that, right? Like we all know what it feels like to not, to be on the outside and wanting to get inside with people. So most people will be like, oh, don't worry about it. This is so-and-so here, and this is my friend Jack, and, and they'll bring you into the conversation. But it really starts with being brave, and it starts with having grace with yourself. And we're going to talk about this more. We're going to get into this with the tapping. So here's some questions that can kind of guide you in the middle of a conversation. If you how you can get to that point in a conversation where it gets quiet and you're like, crap, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to bring up or talk about. Bring up shared interests. A lot of people love to watch Netflix or shows on TV, and you can just be like, oh, so are you a Netflix fan? Do you watch any shows on Netflix? And most people will be like, oh, yeah, I do. And then you can just start talking about, have you seen this show? Or people love common ground. So you want to always try to find common ground with people in conversations. It's one of the ways that we connect with each other. You can talk about like a cooking show that you watched if you're into cooking. A lot of people love cooking shows. And another big thing, people love to talk about where they've traveled. These are not things you're gonna walk up to a group of people and be like, oh, hi, have you watched any Netflix lately? No. These are sort of questions to help fill in gaps once a conversation has already started and it starts to get quiet and you're not really sure what else to talk about. And as you're finding your wings with becoming more outgoing, you'll know when to interject these type of questions, but I just want you to sort of keep them in the back of your mind so that they're like in a little conversation toolkit that you can just keep. And when you're not really sure what to talk about, you can just reach in there and grab something. Okay, so that's what that is. All right, now we're on to step number 3, which is be a good listener. Remember, everyone wants to feel seen and heard in a conversation. When you are listening to people, if you're like me, you might want to interject or cut people off. Sometimes I do that. I don't mean to, and I'm trying to get better at that. But I tend to get excited when I'm really enjoying a conversation. Also with my friends and people that I'm close to, there's just such passion in our conversations that we both just kind of like, jump in and talk and jump in and talk. And it's we don't ever take offense to it, but when you're meeting new people, everyone has their own conversation style. So you don't know who might not like that kind of thing. So be a good listener, zip it, just let a person talk and pay attention to what they're saying so that you can be collecting data points so that when they're done talking, you will be able to ask them intelligent questions about something that they've said to show that you were actually paying attention and caring about what they were talking about. When someone is talking, you want to be asking yourself these questions. What is important to this person? What are they excited to share? And what do they value? Write those down or just keep them in the back of your mind. And again, these are going to go in your conversation toolkit so that when a person is talking, and this is a new person that you're trying to get to know, and this works really good on dates too, by the way. When a person is talking to you, you're going to be asking yourself, okay, so what is important to this person? If they talk a lot about their kids, then you know that family is very important to them. If they talk a lot about their business, and making money, then you know that they're very driven by success. If they're talking a lot about their ex, then get out and leave. No, I'm just kidding. If they are talking a lot about their ex or painful events that have happened to them, then you'll know that this person is probably still mourning. This person is, still wounded and needs help. There's no judgment when you're talking to people. You need to be a good listener, give them your undivided attention, but you're gonna ask yourself these questions so that you might be able to offer supportive commentary. For example, if they're talking about something painful that happened to them, the loss of a parent or a bad breakup or whatever. Remember, when someone is sharing a painful event with you, their heart is looking for compassion, okay? When they take a break in the conversation, you want to offer that compassion to them. And the way you do that is you say, wow, I'm really sorry that happened. That must not have been easy to go through. One of my favorite questions to ask someone is, and this is if you feel comfortable, right, asking these questions, but you can say, what have you done to take care of yourself since then? Because that is such a, it's like you're genuinely showing that you care about the person, and you're also causing them to actually think, wait a minute, what have I done to take care of myself? Maybe I haven't done anything, and maybe I need to. You're actually connecting with them on a heart level. So, but whatever question you feel comfortable asking, you just want to keep these data points in mind. What's important to this person? What are they excited to share? What do they value? And if they're talking about something about success, you can say something like, wow, that was quite an accomplishment. Congratulations on that. Particularly if they started a business or sold a business or overcame a big obstacle. you want to congratulate them on that, because as human beings, when we achieve something, we kind of want people to recognize that. That's why they have awards. An award is nothing more than a little statue or a little piece of paper that has our name and what we accomplished, but we want that because as human beings, we want that recognition. So all of that falls under be a good listener. And I hope those 3 questions help guide you when you are listening to a person talk, because it really does help give you insight or into what is important to this person, so that when they stop talking, that gives you an opportunity to jump in with those data points and actually offer some commentary, some compliments, some sort of compassion or feedback in that area. And that makes you a really good conversationalist, and it also makes you more outgoing. Number 4, give compliments freely. When in doubt, always say something kind to someone. Even if you don't agree with what they just said. For example, if they're bringing up a heated topic about politics or religion, something that you're just like, oh, I just don't even want to continue down this road of conversation with this person, you can still find something to say that is kind. And if you can't, if this person has really rubbed you the wrong way, then you can just be patient and listen until there's a break in the conversation, and then you can politely excuse yourself. Some quick ways to excuse yourself is to say something like, you know what, I'd love to continue this conversation, but I actually have to return a phone call. You can just say, it was great chatting with you, and then get out. One thing that I recently heard was if someone is talking nonstop and you can't seem to get a break in the conversation, you can actually drop something. You don't want to drop your phone, but maybe an ink pen or a napkin or something. And when you drop it and you break that eye contact and you bend down to pick it up, it sort of creates a little break in the conversation from that person, and then you can interject and be like, oh my gosh, yeah, I can't believe I'm so clumsy. Hey, listen, it was nice chatting with you. I'd love to finish this conversation, but I'm kind of short on time, but it was nice meeting you. And then get out there. Always give compliments freely any chance that you can, because people love compliments. And if you want to be outgoing, that's one of the fastest ways to get someone to like you and to want to talk with you and to be more engaged with you is if you're complimenting them, right? So I remember years ago, I met this guy, and one of the things I did was like, I went out, he had like big, strong muscles, and I was like, oh my gosh, your arms are so big, they're so strong, you have big muscles. And let me tell you something, guys at the gym are working their asses off to get those muscles, right? So when you compliment a man like on his muscles, like, anyway, they love that. So here's 3 tips to help you give compliments in a meaningful way. You want to pay attention to what you genuinely like about a person so that you'll mean what you say when you give them a compliment. If you're giving them a compliment on something that they've achieved or whatever, really pay attention to the information that they're giving you prior to that compliment. If it's something that they're wearing, make sure that you're complimenting something that you actually like about them. I compliment people's hair a lot because I just love hair for some reason, and I love how people style their hair and just different ways of wearing hair. So when I compliment someone's hair, I genuinely have an appreciation for hairstyles. Don't be obvious. You want to notice like small, unique things about a person so that your words stand out. There's little things that people do, their little mannerisms, maybe it's their little organization habits, the way they order their food, that connects with the person in a way that just really resonates with them. Like, wow, they noticed like something really small. Here's something that's also important. When you give a compliment, you don't want to give the same compliment to every person. Like, oh, I like your shoes. Oh, I like your shoes. Like, mix it up. Just, you're not like the shoe police. Like, be easy about it. And you don't also have to keep it all external on a person's looks. One of my favorite things to do is to compliment someone on the way they say something. For example, when someone is super articulate and they're using like all these big words and they string together those words like pearls of wisdom. Someone says a phrase or a quote or something that catches my ear, I will compliment them. I'll be like, oh my gosh, I like the way you said that. Tip number 5 is to get involved. Get yourself out there. I know that it is going to push you out of your comfort zone to become more outgoing, to be a better communicator. But one of the easiest ways to do that is to get involved in your community, volunteer, find a hobby that you like to do, because first of all, giving back is going to make you feel more connected to your community, and it's going to alleviate any feelings of inadequacy. It's going to build you up in such a way that you feel confident when you talk to people in your community because you're serving that community. Right? Same thing like with a hobby. If you're into like golf, or you're into writing or scrapbooking, or I don't know, like whatever your hobby is that you like to do, could be cigar smoking, like they have cigar lounges, whatever it is. When you find something that you enjoy, it's going to be so much easier to put yourself out there to meet other people and to be more outgoing because you have a shared interest, a common thing that you all enjoy doing. I definitely encourage you to write down a list of the things that you enjoy doing, and then research any type of groups that might be, or meetup groups, or people that are coming together in a unified way that they all want to do that same thing. Okay, here's some other little quick ideas that could help you put yourself out there. You could host a monthly brunch at your house, or a pizza night at your house, a pizza and a movie night. If you have people that you know that you want to bring more closer into your circle and get to know them better, that's one way to just really do it. Like, people love coming together for food and for something that's entertaining. So you could host that. And if you don't feel comfortable having people at your house, maybe it's not decorated the way you want it or whatever, then you could host something like that at a local pizza shop, right? Hey guys, we're gonna be meeting at this pizza place, and we're gonna start off having pizza, and then we're gonna go see this movie. So if you wanna join us, get your tickets and meet us at the pizza place. If you don't wanna do the movie, you can just join us for pizza. I mean, how easy is that to put together? It's not even at your house. You don't have to clean up anything, and it's just wonderful. And all you do is just bring everybody there, and you just, hey, so-and-so, and you can just introduce people to each other. And that there's a whole different momentum that takes on itself when you have a group of people and you start introducing them to each other. They all start talking amongst each other, and then you can just kind of float around the room and just like pop in and talk to each person. But so that's one way. If you have a dog, go to a dog park. There's other people there that have dogs, and guess what they love to talk about? Dogs. So that's another way to sort of become more outgoing and also do something that you really enjoy, and that those same people are going to connect with you on instantly. Oh, what kind of dog is that? Oh, I used to have a dog. Or my dog, I knew a friend that had a dog like that. I mean, blah, blah, blah. Y'all will just go dog nuts talking about everything dog. Another thing is to sign up for a class. We talked about that earlier. So when you sign up for a class of something that you enjoy doing, everyone else that's in that class is going to enjoy doing that same thing. So it's instant rapport. That is these are the fastest ways to sort of become more outgoing, is to put yourself in an environment where other people are doing the same things that you enjoy doing. You automatically have something that ties you guys together. It's a shared interest, and it's exciting, and it's fun, and it takes the pressure off of you trying to be this amazing conversationalist. This is a way to start small and then sort of work your way up to going to events where you don't know anyone. Okay, and last but not least, if you are really, really resistant, let's say you are a painful introvert, and you're just like, Diamond, I hear you, girl. I hear all these wonderful tips, but you don't understand. Like, I just have a hard time leaving my house. I just don't even, like, being around people just makes me really nervous. Start small. You could simply ask one person out for coffee. Hey, would you like to go have coffee? And start small by having that one-on-one interaction with that person. And once you have that level of comfort talking to that person, developing a rapport, maybe even a slight friendship, then you can maybe even ask that person, hey, I really want to get out and meet more people, or I want to become more outgoing. Would you like to go to this event with me? And then you have a person to do that with. So when you go to that event, you can slowly test out your skills talking to new people, but you got your person with you. You got somebody beside you that is your level of comfort, that makes you feel like you're more secure because you're not by yourself. So that's another way to just, if you are really resistant to meeting people and becoming more outgoing because you're really shy, that's a great way to just kind of like start small. So anyway, guys, I hope these 5 steps have helped you. I went on a lot longer than I wanted to, but I really wanted to try to help as many of you as I could. I know that everybody's on a different level, so I was trying to cover as many levels as I could. And so let's get into the tapping, shall we? Okay, so if you're new to tapping, all you're gonna do is just repeat after me. It's super easy. We're gonna do 2 rounds of tapping and that's it. Okay, so take a deep breath in. Let it out. And you're gonna just tap right here on your karate point of I'm using my left hand. This is my right hand to tap on my left hand. So here we go. It sucks to feel alone. You okay, Choo-Choo? I hate feeling trapped within myself. I want to get out and make friends. I wish I could be good at striking up conversations with people, especially people I'm attracted to. At first, being alone feels nice. But then, too much being alone makes me feel isolated. How did I even get like this? I miss meaningful connection. I want true friendships. People that always have my back. I want relationships that make my life more rewarding. I want to feel cherished by others. Maybe I secretly want to be the life of the party. It sucks to feel so alone. I want to get out there and become more outgoing. I understand that this is an area that's going to take practice. And even though I have all these feelings of inadequacy, of not feeling good enough, I still deeply love, honor, and accept myself. Take a deep breath, hold it at the top. Let it out. Okay, now let's get into our sequence of tapping, which is going to reprogram our brain. Okay, here we go. I want to feel like I belong. I'm no longer willing to feel stuck and isolated. I know that deep down, I can be a fun person. I'm ready to step outside of my comfort zone. I deserve meaningful connection. I am committed to becoming a more outgoing person. I see myself as someone that can do this. I will start small by asking people questions about themselves. I will work my way up to giving compliments freely. Maybe I need to start complimenting myself more often. This way, I can feel more comfortable giving compliments to others. I know I can do this. Every limitation that's inside my head, I put it there. Which means I have the power to remove it. I love that I am taking charge of this area of my life. I'm giving myself permission to be more outgoing. I choose to see myself as an outgoing person. If I freeze up while talking to someone, I can always take a deep breath and ask them a question about themselves. People love to talk about themselves anyway. Nothing has meaning except the meaning that we give it. What if, instead of telling myself that I'm not good at being outgoing, what if I told myself that I'm an extrovert in training? That would give me room to grow, wouldn't it? I love that my mind is opening to new possibilities. Being outgoing is a skill that I can learn. After all, no one is born Mr. or Mrs. Personality. Even though I'm nervous, I'm going to start putting myself out there. I want to meet new people. I have a lot to offer other people. It's time I gave myself permission to share who I really am. I get to choose who I want to be. And I choose to be more outgoing. I'm going to research classes on fun things that I like. Because the best way to meet new people is to do things we both love to do. I will mentally rehearse 3 icebreaker questions that I can ask anyone in any setting. This will help me to break out of my shell. I can start small and have grace with myself. I love my desire to become a better human. I can see myself being more outgoing right now. I so love my desire to grow. And so it is. Take a deep breath, hold it at the top. Let it out. Guys, I hope you have enjoyed this tapping session on becoming more outgoing, along with the 5 steps that are going to help you just become a better communicator, because that's really the key to being more outgoing, right? Is to learn how to communicate with other humans. And I hope I didn't ramble on too long, but there was a lot to cover, and I just really enjoyed doing this session with you guys today. So if you've enjoyed this, please leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about it. Let me know if you're going to try some of these tips and strategies. Just let me know where you're at with all of this. Are you an outgoing person? Are you more of an introvert? And if you are an outgoing person and you're seeing this, can you please comment and let us know maybe what are some of the strategies or tips that you have used to help you become more outgoing, or if there was something in here you enjoy doing and it's worked very well for you, let us know that too. Anyway, guys, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Share this video with anyone that you know might need a little boost on being a better communicator or becoming more outgoing, because the bottom line is, when we all become more outgoing and we learn to be better communicators with one another, we make the world a better place. And we share more love with one another when we have a genuine interest in what each other is doing, and we compliment each other more. And it just makes the human experience so much more juicy and warm and wonderful. And that's why I do these videos. So hope you guys have enjoyed it. Choose taking a little nap. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I woke him up. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.